Hey guys, welcome to Hope with Russ. I just wanted to give you an encouraging word today. I'm not doing any kind of special editing with this video. I just feel like this is a story that I've been kind of holding in, and some people know about it, but a lot of people out there don't know. And I don't know why I feel like I need to share it, but I think it's because a lot of people can probably relate. And so with that said, I'm going to tell you something that happened during 2020, during the world situation that we all know about. And in the comments, I'd love for you guys to share some stories about what transpired with you. Is there something relatable that happened in your life? And with that said, I'm going to kind of just jump right into it. But feel free to comment, leave a like, subscribe for this kind of content. It means a lot. So this video is not super edited. It's just kind of straightforward, but you'll probably notice a lot of these will start to be. So anyways, when that event happened, my family and I had just left a very secure job. A very secure job where I had done really well at. I had just won a Leader of the Year award. And I won't talk about that company in particular. I'll just say I had just left. Left them in a good place. Not left because I did something wrong, but left because we were trying to move on and make more money, get more financial security. So I left the job, started a new job. World event took place, and I was let go. When I was let go, at first it was great. I think a lot of us were like, at least speaking for myself, I was in a good place mentally. I was like, oh my gosh, a cool little break. Everything's awesome. I get to enjoy my family for a while. And we did. We enjoyed each other quite a bit. It's actually some of our best memories. Just even with that, I know there was a lot of chaos in the world, but there was some good memories there. And then months started to pass, and we started to get a little concerned about, how we were going to start to make ends meet. Now, mind you, while all this is happening, I had just had a 1-year-old son, and we were also, one going on 2, and we were pregnant with our second born. So we have Gabriel, and then we have Elijah. Elijah is who we were pregnant with. And money started getting really tight as the months started waning and going on. And then I ended up having to sell my house because I could no longer afford it. At that same time, one of our cars bit the dust. It died on us. So I lost my vehicle, sold my car, lost my vehicle. I couldn't get a job. I applied for thousands of jobs. I'm not exaggerating. I applied to thousands of jobs. Every single day, that was my job, to apply to jobs. And I'd see signs everywhere. Now hiring, urgently hiring. And I'm going everywhere. And for whatever reason, there was a door that would either always be slammed on me, or either the company actually wasn't hiring at all. Or you would get a call saying, hey, we're interested in interviewing you. And then you go to the interview only to find out that they didn't want to interview you. Like, for whatever reason, it might be like, we're not hiring or interviewing right now, even though you were under the impression that they were hiring. And then so that was going on. And I'm not exaggerating. We applied to thousands of jobs. I had nothing else to do. I had a family, I had kids, what was I supposed to do? Other than to keep going and pushing. But let me tell you, God is amazing. So that's where I'm going with all this. Now keep in mind, as a husband, as a father, it's extremely difficult to navigate because the stresses of the world start to weigh on you. I started to feel very down, like, God, what are you doing? I need my family I need to provide for my family. So I started picking at straws. Anything I could get my hands on, I would do, like eBay or a side job here, or I got into crypto. I got into selling off all kinds of stuff that I had personally owned just to try to make ends meet and help my family. But all of it was doors being slammed on me. And I could not figure out why God, why is every single door being slammed in my face? Fast forward another year, and I'm kidding you not. This is going on that event happened. A whole year plus goes by, and it's still going on, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck in this loop. So I told you about selling my house. I told you about my car breaking down. Things got so bad, I had to give one of my dogs away. Can't tell you how bad that was. More so bad for my wife. My wife was devastated by that. So awful thing there. And then it just went on and on. Money started running out, basically. Everything I had ever saved was basically gone. And then my wife finally gets a call from a job, we'll say a church, and they accept her as a music director. And amazing opportunity. We're like, thank you, Lord. Finally, something is breaking for us. So we have to move. Now, keep in mind, when I say I sold my house, I had to actually move in with my mother and father-in-law. Another thing that tore me apart, because you don't have to do that as a father, as a dad, as a husband. You feel like you're inadequate, you're not providing. But that's something I had to do, and I had to swallow my pride and just be grateful. So really bottom of the barrel. But we took the new job, moved out of where we lived into a whole other town. My wife was the one that had the job. I didn't even have the job. So I became a stay-at-home dad, having to take care of my kids because daycare was so expensive. We finally did get them into daycare after some months, and there was some availability that came open, but that took a long time. And then I took a job. I finally got a job as a youth director at a church. Well, that didn't last but like 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And for whatever reason, I had so much spiritual oppression where there seemed to be some kind of demonic stronghold over the church, but these people didn't even know me. They didn't know anything about me, but yet they started saying all kinds of nasty things about me, that I was someone who fraternized with younger people, that I was just trying to ruin the church, and I was coming to ruin things, or that my educational background and my work background was the equivalent of a Paul Blart Mall cop. I mean, I had a law enforcement background with the South Carolina Department of Corrections, just things like that. And it was just on and on and on. And I'm sitting there like, Lord, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? I haven't hurt nobody. I haven't done anything wrong to anybody. And I've been constantly beaten to the ground. So a couple weeks go by, and I'm basically ran away from the church. I'm ran off. And I'm made to feel like I'm the villain, and I haven't even done anything because I don't even know anybody. So it was like a demonic stronghold. I don't know what the deal was there, but they didn't like the fact that I was there and that I loved Jesus. It's the only thing I can come up with. On the flip side of that, my wife is at this church, this new church that she's taken a job at, and things are going well at first. But then eventually, the same exact thing happens to her, where she's demonically being attacked by other people. And my wife is sweet, man. I wish I could explain it to you. She's sweet as pie. Wouldn't hurt a soul. Sweet little lady. And these people come after her, telling her, nasty, nasty things that you would never say to anybody, especially someone you're just starting to get to know. And I don't want to go into a lot of the details of that, but we just felt like we were on an island. We felt like nobody could relate. And every time we told somebody about everything we had lost and how much it meant to us to get back on our feet, it was as if, oh yeah, we had some struggles too. Not saying those people hadn't had struggles, but just the fact that it was hard for me to relate to somebody who really hadn't had the same struggles we had had. And then for them to turn around and, act the way they did towards us was really hard. So anyways, I'm asking God, why are we going through all this? Why are we going through all this? And I felt God tell me that I needed to trust him and that I needed to do away with my impatience. And I needed to learn how to draw closer to him. While this is all going on, as you can probably imagine at this point, I'm really depressed. I mean, I'm so physically drained, mentally drained, spiritually drained that I've completely lost sight of who I am. My wife jokes today. She said I got to a point where I looked like I had crazy eyes because I just wasn't myself anymore. And so, anyways, as I got more and more depressed, I just kind of lost who I was. And so when I heard God tell me those things, I decided, I needed to figure out what he meant by that, what he meant by I needed to draw closer. Because I'm thinking to myself, God, I don't know what else to do to get closer to you. I'm trying everything. And I found out how important it was to fast. I had no idea my entire life. Nobody had ever told me that fasting was just as important as praying. No idea. I always knew you're supposed to pray day and night, pray in the morning, pray in the evening, pray for God to hear you, to hear your cries. Pray for joy, pray for when you're frustrated, but all the above, but not to talk about fasting. And then I started learning about Jesus. I knew that Jesus fasted. I knew all this. But I didn't realize that it kind of was supposed to be what we did. So anyways, I did this. I fasted for 3 days. Maybe it was 4. Actually, I think it was 4 days. I fasted for 4 days. Only 4 days. All I ate was fruit and I drank water during that time. And I know some people would say, well, that's not a real fast, but for me it was. It was the first time I'd ever done it. And let me tell you, you want to talk about drawing close to God. I thought I had many points in my life where I was close to God. Nothing compares to that. Nothing compares, because I was hearing God speak to me consistently all day long. I was hearing his voice. Every step I would make, I would hear him. And by the 3rd and 4th day, you get into this phase of fasting where you actually get, I forget the word it's called, but you get to a point where you are just incredibly energetic. You have all this energy. Your mind is clear. There's no fog, anything like that. And I was, instead of when I would get hungry, instead of like trying to think about what I would eat, I would just go read my Bible instead. And I would fill up on the word, just as the Bible tells us to do, be fed on the word. And so I did this. And let me tell you, when that happened, my depression, my anxiety, all of it, every drop of it was cleared and removed from me. God removed the pain from me. He took it all away. And I immediately became so clear-minded that I knew what I needed to do next. And after applying to hundreds of jobs and being so down, I just knew I needed to call this one particular company that I had worked for previously. And I did that. And they were so excited to have me come on board. And I'm just thinking to myself, why, God? How is it that this happened all of a sudden now, right after I started fasting and drawing closer to you? Well, the obvious answer is because I started hearing God's voice, and he was working my life out for me. I had become so bad off that I needed saving. I needed someone to be able to come and fix what I was going through. And God did that for me. I didn't deserve it. I did not deserve that at all, but he did that for me. And so I say all that to say, God can fix anything in your life. If you trust, and by truly trusting, I mean everything that's placed before you, you have to actually go after. Like, so for instance, I know when I get home I have to do the dishes and I have to put my kids to bed. I have to do those things. So instead of trying to run away from them things, you have to go do number one, and you have to do it wholeheartedly. And then you have to go do number two, which is put the kids to bed, and you have to do that wholeheartedly too. So what I mean by that is whatever you're doing in life, don't run from anything. Do not run from anything. Trust what is in front of you and ask God to navigate it. God, I know without a shadow of a doubt that you have my best interest in mind, and that whatever's placed before me, I'm going to do my best at. And if it's not for me, I know that you'll shut the door on it and you'll remove it from my life. But while it's in front of me, I'm going to do my best with it. So I encourage everybody today, right this minute, to take the time to get close to God, to trust God with all of your heart, all of your soul, to ask him to guide your steps, and to not feel defeated by the enemy. The way you're going to be able to get over this is by fasting. Praying, but fasting. Fasting is the key. Fasting will remove all doubts. Fasting will remove any attempt from the enemy to harm you. I promise you. Fasting will heal your body. It will heal your mind. But most importantly, your spirit will be overjoyed by it. And I encourage you right this moment, today, whoever watches this video, I don't care if it's one person or 100 million people, I don't know who you are, but I encourage you, please, we need God more than anything in the world right now. We need him to know that we trust him and we love him and we need him. And I encourage you to not give up the fight. No matter what you lose, no matter what pain, what agony, whether it's, you're losing a loved one, or you just graduated college, or you're worried about finances, whatever it looks like, do not stop trusting Jesus. Trust Jesus with all your heart. And do that by fasting with it. Pray and fast. Pray and fast together. It's the most powerful thing you can ever do in your life. I promise nothing will come close to it. Nothing. I say all this in Jesus' heavenly name. Be encouraged today. Be encouraged. Now, there's more to the story that I haven't shared with you, but I'll save it for another video since this one's getting long. But I just wanted to say, be encouraged. And rejoice when you have setbacks. Rejoice when you face obstacles. In Jesus' heavenly name. Sorry, it's my kid in there. He's excited. He's playing a game. In Jesus' heavenly name. Thank you so much for watching the video. Amen.